Hey guys, so today I'm just going to show you guys this look that I'm wearing right now. It is a kind of a daytime casual look. It's something that I wear when I have to go into the office. It's something that I wear if I'm running errands and don't really want to do a full face. It's something that if you don't want to do a full face, you can do. If you're new to makeup, you can do this. It's really easy and it's pretty simple and hopefully it's easy to follow. But I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks! To start off with, I've already primed and put my foundation on, and I use an oil-free primer because I tend to be a little more oily during the day, and it's something that I found really helps. It really helps everything stick and stay in place, and then I'm not looking like the scary matchmaker from Mulan with everything just dripping down her face. And the foundation that I wear, which again I've already applied, is the MAC Pro Longwear. I am in the color NW18 and I love this foundation. It sticks, it stays where I want it to. It lasts me all day. I don't crack, I don't flake, I don't feel like I really have anything on. I don't look like I have anything on, which for a daytime look for me is something that I prefer. So I've already foundationed. The next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to do concealer. And I also use the MAC Pro Longwear concealer, which I also like to use it as part of my eye foundation base for my eyeshadows. I think it just really helps everything stay on, and it helps, keep the colors vibrant, and it just helps everything go on so much easier. And just take a little dab. That's all you need. A little goes a long way with this one. And then I just start and I dab, and then I take it's the Sigma F86 tapered kabuki, and I just blend it all in, up on the eye a little bit to provide that base again for your shadow. And I really like this concealer under the eye because I don't feel like it goes into any creases, it doesn't go into any fine lines, and it really just helps you look a little more fresh-eyed if ever you're a little tired. It helps conceal some of those dark circles, but again, it's not going to settle into any of your creases. So I'm just going to smooth that out. So then the next step that I'm going to do is my eyes, and for this I use 3 shadows. The first one I'm going to use is, and I'm losing it, is going to be this one right here. This one is Geek Peach Smoothie. I think it's a great base. It's a great transition color. It's great if you don't have a lot of eye, which if you look, I really don't have very big eyes. So I'm just going to take my Sigma F40. You just need a little bit. You don't really even need a lot. And I'm just going to put that in the crease and right above the crease to help everything transition and be a little more smooth. And if you ever feel like you have too much product on a brush, you can just tap it off and a lot of the excess powder will come off, and it makes it so much easier then. So the next one that I'm going to use is this color right here. It is Lorelei. It's from the MAC Aquatics collection. I know they have it in their normal everyday makeup collection, but I'm not exactly sure what that one is called. I'll link it down below though so that you know what the current color is called. So I'm just going to take my Sigma E25, get a little bit on there, and on this one I'm just going to go over the entire lid. It doesn't matter if it gets in the crease or not, just over the entire lid. And then you just want to kind of blend that in with the peach smoothie so then you don't have a really harsh line. So the next color I'm going to take is Sketch by MAC. And this is just a really pretty purple shade. And this is where my pop of color is going to come from. It's still going to be a fairly neutral eye, but again, you're going to have a little bit of that pop for the day. And I'm just using the Sigma Small Tapered Blending, the E45 brush, because it helps me get into the crease in the corner of my eye. Again, because I don't have very big eyes. So it sounds really silly, I always make like the fish eyes and you're like, ah! to find where my crease is and then go down and kind of make like a little angle along your lash line and then into the crease, and then you can blend that in towards the middle. So you find the crease and then you make like a little V or an angle or a triangle, whatever shape you want, and then you just blend that inward. And you don't need a whole lot of the darker color just because you're making an accent. You're not doing a full-on smoky dramatic. And then what I like to do with that is again take my E40 and then I just blend it. I just want it to look all smooth and gradient and not like I have tan and purple and lines. You just want it to be smooth. And a good rule of thumb is if you think you've blended enough, blend some more because you can never blend too much. So then just to make it a little more defined, I'm going to take the MAC, it's the Pro Longwear eyeliner, but it's in Snow Shadow. It's this really pretty purple. And I will line the entire upper lid and then the bottom third of my outer bottom lid, just because if I would line my entire upper and lower lines, it's going to make my eyes look even smaller and it's going to look too severe. So for a daytime look like this, you just want to do a little bit on the bottom. So just line it. And I like this liner because it's not a super dark liner. It's one that it's just enough for a really good pop of color, but it's not going to be too much. And then just on the lower third. And as you can see, there's like just enough. It gives me kind of a hint of like a smoky, like that bombshell look where it's just all shadowy and sultry, but it's not going to be too much for an office or for a daytime look. And then one of the things I like to do just to make sure, again, blend. I have it's the Sigma Smudge E21 brush. I'll just smudge the upper and into the corner of my eyeliner just to kind of feather it out a little bit, make it a little smoother, as well as give it even more of that daytime look. And if you ever feel like you've gone too over the top or too much or too outside of the eye area, it's such an easy fix. All you would need to do is take either a Q-tip, or I sometimes will use a winged liner brush dipped in a little bit of makeup remover. You just, line where you want it to be, line where it should be, and then you can just either cover up with a little bit of concealer, you can go from there, you can blend out some more of the eyeshadow if it's an easy fix like that, or if you need to, you can always just do a really quick tiny little touch up of your foundation if you feel that that's needed also. Typically, I have found that anytime I make a mistake, having the wing liner brush with a little bit of makeup remover does the trick, and then with your concealer brush that you've already used, it's going to have a tiny little bit left on it. So all you have to do is just dab over that area and you're going to be good to go. That is the majority of the eyes are done. The last thing that I always tend to do last is my mascara, only because I, for some reason, cannot do it without my other makeup on. So I'll do my bronzer, my highlighter, my blush first because, again, for some reason, I don't know why, if I do my mascara last, I don't screw it up, but if I try to do it immediately, I will inevitably like poke myself in the eye or something. So the next step that we're going to do is bronzer. And again, for the daytime look, you don't want that chiseled, contoured look, especially not in an office, because that's going to have that harsh overhead lighting that's going to create even more shadow than you really want. So for my daytime, either going out, running errands, going to the office, going to a meeting, I like to use, it's the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Because I'm very fair, I tend to only need the lightest shade of everything. So for my bronzer, I like to use the Sigma F84 Angled Kabuki. And you just get a little bit on there. You want to tap it off. And then I like to go, again, top to bottom. I will start at the right above the temples, a little bit under the cheeks to add some definition, and then around my jawline so that any Shadows are going to be helped covered up. It's going to help give me that bronze look. Basically, anywhere where the sun is going to normally hit you is where you really want to give a little dusting of the bronzer. So on the forehead, and with this particular bronzer, I have found that a little bit goes a very long way, and you just want to be careful because you really want to find the shade that's right for you. With the chocolate Soleils, there's 3 shades. There's the milk chocolate, the chocolate, and then the dark chocolate. And they have cocoa powder in them, so they smell amazing. It always makes me want to eat a Hershey's bar whenever I'm doing my bronzer. But it's something, they blend very easily, but you want to make sure that you do blend them because otherwise you're going to have a little bit of that line. If you're brand new to bronzer or you're brand new to anything, one rule is 3E that I've always heard, I've always read about. You want to do like that and then like that. 3 and E. So if you're practicing, if you're an expert, it's always a good rule of thumb to do 3E. So 3 and E. And that may have been backwards from my camera. I apologize. The next step that I'm going to do is my blush. And I am using this very pinky blush, which is hard to see because of the lighting. But it is the Head Over Heels blush from Makeup Geek. And you can kind of see that there. It's just a very pinky, has a little bit of a shimmer in it. But literally all I do is I just tap twice and you can see the amount of product. Tap it off. And then for this casual look, I like to start at the apples and work my way back without being too severe. So you just want to tap and then blend. And again, 2 taps gets you lots of product. Tap it off, and then dab, and then blend. And what this is going to do is it's not going to give you, you're not going to have clown cheeks. Nobody wants clown cheeks. But what it's also going to do for you is give you just a little bit of that glow. You don't want too much if you're going to be under a lot of fluorescent lighting, but you do want just a little bit to give you that glow. So then my next step is going to be to highlight. And I am completely in love with the Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. This has become my hands down favorite highlighter. It's great on a bunch of different skin tones. You can be light, you can be dark. It's going to look good on you no matter what. It's just this really, really pretty champagne color. And to do this, I have the Sigma F35 Tapered Highlighter. And you can use any brushes that you want. You can find ones that, whatever works for you, whatever is the easiest for you to use, easiest for you to get. I've just happened to find that these work the best for me and I prefer them. They feel the best. They feel a lot better than some other brushes that I've felt and have used that kind of just felt a little stiff and they didn't feel quite as soft and smooth, and it just makes blending so much easier. So I just took a little tap on it and you can see how much product I got on it. Tap it off, and then you want to do, I always do the V's, like V, you go cheekbone and then right above the eyebrow. So I've always just gone right above the cheekbone and then right above the eyebrow and make a nice little V. And then for the daytime look, that's really all you need. So again, take this, 2 taps, tap it off, and then top of the cheekbone, right above the eyebrow, and make that nice little V. And that's going to give you a good highlight without being too much. You're not going to look sparkly. You're not going to look shiny. It's going to be a really pretty highlighter. And you can see a little bit here. It just gives you a nice little, like, uplift. So for my brows, for the day at the office, I go very, very basic. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills in Ebony. I use both colors, and I also have the Brow Wiz that I'll use if I'm going out, if I know I'm going somewhere where I want to look a little nicer, if I want to look a little more glammed up. But for the daytime look, I found that the powder is just the easiest thing for me. So I have and again, it's Sigma, it's the Angled Brow E75 brush. I just tap it in the lighter of the 2 colors, And then I will do the first half of my eyebrow in that, and then I'll go over the entire eyebrow with a darker color just to add a little bit of dimension to my eyebrows. And I already have very full eyebrows. I keep them that way so that I don't have to do a ton of eyebrow work, which honestly keeps things so much easier. But for those who may not have the eyebrows that they might want thicker, they might want darker, or anything of that nature, Anastasia Beverly Hills makes amazing products. I've used the Dip Brow Pomade before, and it's a little much for me because, again, I have so much eyebrow. But for somebody who might not, somebody who might want to darken their eyebrows, that's a great product to use. It goes on really smoothly. You'd use this exact same brush. And it's something that's just, I mean, let's be honest here. Makeup makes us feel good. It makes us feel great. So, great products make us feel even better. And then anytime you do your eyebrows, especially with a powder, you always want to take a spoolie brush, and you always want to make sure that you just go over anything that will help stay in place. And one thing I like about the brow powder is that it does keep your brow hairs in place. So once you set it, once you put it in, you set it, you're good to go. So I take my spoolie and I just lightly go over everything, and it keeps everything in place. It also, if you tend to get maybe out of your brow line with a little bit of the powder, or there's a little stray that drops down, the spoolie helps to remove that without removing the product from your brow. But, you know, brows look great then. They're dark and they're defined, but they're not too much. So before I do my mascara, as my last thing, I like to use, it's the MAC Prep and Prime Loose Translucent Powder. And I use that to set everything in place. I'm a fan of that. It works for me. Makeup Forever has a great brand. Sephora has great products. But any fine setting powder that works for you, this one just happens to be my go-to. It's always worked for me, and I'm a bit of a sucker for it. I'm a little biased, if you couldn't tell. So what I use a Sigma Large powder. It's the F30 brush. Dip a little, swirl it around in the lid, tap it off, and then I do that one time, and that can go over my entire face, and it'll hold and set me for the entire day. So I literally will just gently dust over the entire face. It sets my eyes, it sets my eyebrows, it sets all of the bronzer and the blush and the highlighter. And then the last product that I put on, mascara. I like to use the Buxom Waterproof whenever it's all day. It lasts the longest for me. And here in Pittsburgh, it tends to rain a lot. You never know when it's gonna rain. They always joke and say in Pennsylvania, give it 20 minutes, and if you don't like the weather, it's gonna change. So I like to use a waterproof, just in case if it does rain, then I'm set and I'm not gonna be worried that I'm gonna be, again, Mulan matchmaker dripping down. So just mascara. And then for today, since I'm running into the office for an afternoon meeting, what I'll do for my lip is just grab one of my EOS balls and just do that. If you wanted to do something a little more bold, you could do like maybe a lighter red. It sounds really weird to say. Not quite a wine, but not a bright, bright red. You could do a really pretty neutral. I'm addicted to Max Angel. I also ordered Manny's Serenity from Gerard Cosmetics, and I cannot wait for that to get in. And that'll be another really pretty neutral to use. But if you can switch up the purple in the eye, you can make it blue, you can make it any color you want. You can switch up the lip, make neutral eye, bold lip. It's a really versatile look, and it's something that you can really customize and make your own. But this is my office look. This is my daytime look. If I'm running errands and don't really want to do a full face, this is the look I do. But if anybody has any comments or any questions or anything, or if there's anything you want to see, just ask in the comments below. I will link and put all of the products that I use down below as well in the description. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and have a great day.